Good morning, Off the Gridders. Brian calling with another episode of Off the Grid, daily motivational and technical training for off the grid living. Welcome. Today, we are going to discuss how off the grid living advances humanity and makes us happy. 1. Off the grid living advances humanity. The knowledge, everyone's knowledge, built atop of the last person's knowledge, make building blocks for sustainable living. It creates a foundation for a better life that we can all benefit from, right? We're standing on each other's shoulders, right? With the knowledge, right? Even though this is old knowledge, it needs to be reignited in current society to advance humanity. We do this through sharing. Sharing experiences with others is a part of life, and it's deeply fulfilling to share, and that brings greater happiness. Off the grid share. They share their experiences. They do a lot of trial and error, and they do a lot of sharing. Right? We can teach our future generations. Right? When you teach, it brings its own rewards for both the student and the teacher. Right? And well, the beauty is that being off the grid allows us to teach a new old way of living that everyone should know. Right? The reward of the good feeling of teaching is just a bonus. We preserve knowledge in the way we teach and we share, right? When we live sustainably, it preserves the knowledge through the ages for generations to come, right? If we all lived in a consumer world, we'd lose this precious knowledge, right? Now, today's internet and information age allows us to share knowledge with the click of a mouse instantly around the world and preserve it for future generations. But if people aren't practicing the skills today, there won't be any knowledge to share, right? The skills need to be practiced and shared. The knowledge needs to be refined today and shared. And yes, because we're in this information age, we are greatly benefiting in the future because the information should get into future generations' hands much more easily than it got into our hands, right? By word of mouth or what few books have been written about off the grid living, right? So we're in a new phase in civilization, and we're basically benefiting the future generations with all this off the grid knowledge we're refining and documenting today, right? So it preserves knowledge. Getting back to our roots, right? That's one of the reasons it feels so good to do it, right? Even though we're going back to how man lived for tens of thousands of years, right? We're going forward, right? I mean, many people will be living right off the grid with solar panels, wind turbines, hydroelectricity, geothermal and renewable biofuels, right? It's not just being a hunter-gatherer, right? So a lot of people look at it as, oh, it's a fallback to how man lived for tens of thousands of years, but really, it's trying to take the best of how man lived for tens of thousands of years and integrate it into our modern day society, but allowing people the independence to not be so reliant on commerce, right? Commerce for their fuel and the price fluctuations and their energy and their food and their housing. They want it all up front, right? They want to pay up front for their energy by buying a solar panel, right? It's not that energy is going to be free. They're paying for it up front, and it'll be a lot cheaper than getting energy from the grid, and they'll have more independence, right? So it is getting back to our roots, but it's getting back to our roots in a way where we use the modern technology of today. And then finally, happiness. It makes us happy, right? Less stressful. I mean, we do have a lot of responsibilities off the gridders, but it's less stressful than this modern day rat race that most of us live in. It creates a feeling of contentment and happiness. It's highly rewarding, right? So that's what I have for you today. This is an analysis, and I'm not sorry I did such a good job, but I'm just going to send the tape out. It's an analysis of how human beings striving to go off the grid are basically, one, trying to take the best of what ancient human beings had, right, for tens of thousands of years, and integrate it into the best that we have today, right, with solar panels and wind turbines, right, and make an off-the-grid existence that's more rewarding than the existence of most city dwellers or dwellers in the suburbs. That's the point. And it brings them happiness in doing it, and sharing the knowledge, perpetuating this knowledge, benefits future generations and brings the current generations a great deal of happiness. Hope you guys enjoyed my analysis. Once again, you can come to Off Grid Daily for motivational technical talks about off-the-grid living. This is Brian from Online Land Sales. Have a great day.